Right. Another football video here. So this year, 2014 season, was the 95th season of the NFL. It is also the Patriots' 55th overall season as a franchise. So I talked about how 59 and 55 go hand in hand. In 2014, 55 years before 1959, or 55 years ago was 1959, and 59 years ago was 1955. And a ton of other stuff. I'm not going to go that into detail, but they all connect, so it's kind of funny that it's the Patriots' 55th season and the NFL's 95th season, which is 59 mirror. Also, if you add up the 95 and its mirror, 59, it comes to 154. And 154 is 77 plus 77. I was also just thinking about the word patriot to begin with. So if you split it up, it could be Pat Riots. I don't know, the point after attempt riots, or just something to do with Pat, or if there could just be, riots if they win the Super Bowl because they cheated or this or that. I don't know. I just noticed that at work the other day that the word riots was actually in there. And originally, the Patriots were the Boston Patriots. I talked about that in previous videos. But I've seen a lot of stuff dealing with Boston lately in the news, and I don't know. It's just another thing here, and I'll talk about that in a second. But just wanted to point it out. They were the Boston Patriots. Also, I did a video a while back about a Southpark episode where they put a bomb in Hillary Clinton's vagina in Southpark, and Cartman tips the CIA off, and this one guy calls the Russians, and the Russians say, "We have to get that bomb to Boston." And it has absolutely nothing to do with Southpark whatsoever. He says they have to get the bomb to Boston. And this episode was season 11, episode 4, so 44, and it came out in 2007, way before the Boston bombing. Also was the 157th episode, which is 157 is the 37th prime number. And like Tom Brady is 37 years old. There was a ton of 37 connections to the 37th episode of the Brady Bunch, which, by the way, they also had that commercial where I can't even think of the one guy's name, Steve Buscemi and some other guy, they did a play on the Marsha breaking her nose, and then they had to eat a Snickers or whatever. Anyway, because they're making the Brady Bunch a big deal this year. I even seen it in like the trending articles a whole bunch. So anyway, the whole episode is basically about they're faking this deal in Colorado or something. I can't remember exactly, but they're doing like a fake out. And it's actually the British are going to attack Boston because they're mad about the Boston Tea Party. And then they figure it out, and the Queen ends up shooting herself in the head or whatever. So actually, Britain was actually behind this whole attack, which I thought was funny because, Britain still controls America and whatnot. And so the Queen is 88 years old this year. So then she shoots herself in the head, which I found kind of interesting in the episode. The episode also came out on March 28th, 2007. So I said it was season 11, episode 4, 44. But March 28th during leap years is the 88th day of the year. Also, March 28th is 55 days after February 1st. And February 1st is the day Super Bowl 49 is on. Also, the Patriots' 55th season. Also, to go along with 37, it's mere 73. Guess when the Boston Tea Party actually was? December 16th, 1773. There's your 73. So, I'm not saying there's going to be another bomb in Boston. I'm just saying that it's kind of weird that the 37th, it was 100. I mean, it goes along with everything with the Super Bowl and Tom Brady and 37. So who knows? I mean, the Super Bowl's not even in Boston. It's in Glendale and University of Phoenix Stadium. But I don't know. It just makes me wonder. Who knows? We'll find out, I guess. But just wanted to point it out there. And just another 55. I seen it on Yahoo, and it said the Patriots won't talk about the ghosts of '07 season, blah blah blah, and that's because they were on a season and then Super Bowl, and nobody thought they would lose. As I was scrolling down here, and I seen the picture of G out here, and he was number 55, and I thought, wow, number 55. You know, I was just thinking about 59, 55s and whatnot. And the reason I thought of him that was significant is, well, because he supposedly killed himself when he was age 43. But I was reading through here, so he was number 55. He was also the pick in the 1990 draft, so another 5 connected to him. He was born on January 19th, which is 9/11 backwards. He was the 5th child of his family. And it also says, you know, his girlfriend found him dead with a gunshot wound to the chest at his home. He left no suicide note, but he did leave a paper in the kitchen with lyrics scribbled from a favorite country song, Who I Ain't. But I mean, I don't know. If you're going to shoot yourself or to kill yourself, who would shoot themselves in the chest? I mean, I'm not saying it's not possible, but if you're going to commit suicide, why would you shoot yourself in the chest? I don't know. Makes no sense to me, I guess. Maybe he's aiming for his heart or this or that. But you just always question it when a famous person dies at a young age from suicide, especially when there was really no real note found. Nobody actually knows for sure if it was a suicide. But just found that kind of weird because I found the article the same day I thought of the 55-59 thing. Then they just had this article about this lady being banned from the Boston Marathon for 2 years for doping. Some Kenyan lady. I mean, why is that even in January? Are they doing an article on the Boston Marathon? It just doesn't make any sense to me. They're doing an article on the Boston. Then you had the guy who shoveled the finish line at the Boston Marathon, and that was a big article or whatever. And I did a video on that, so I'm not going to continue talking about it. Just pointing out that they've been stuff about Boston lately. Then don't you find it kind of weird that all of a sudden they have the trial of Aaron Hernandez? It starts 3 days before the Super Bowl with the Patriots. I mean, that's just kind of strange. He supposedly killed some guy, or killed Odin Lloyd on, I don't even remember what it was, June 17th of 2013. And it's January of 2015, and his trial's just now starting right before the Super Bowl. He was a New England Patriot. Also, the guy that he supposedly murdered, Odin Lloyd, Odin, the Norse god, who is also Mercury, and Mercury has to do with 88. Lloyd could be, who knows, Christopher Lloyd, I don't know. Just pretty weird, I guess, that that's who he killed. So he killed him on June 17th. And then he wasn't indicted until August 22nd. So that's 66 days later, he was indicted. Also, August 22nd is 8/22. 8 times 22 is 176, or 88 plus 88. It even says there was 2 other men, Carlos Ortiz and Ernest Wallace. And then down here it says, nearly 8 months later, Ortiz and Wallace were also indicted for the murder of the same crime. So they were indicted 8 months after he was indicted. I mean, why? Why is that even written in there? He also was in trouble before that, but they postponed it basically because of this new murder thing. But it says Alexander S. Bradley was in a car with him on I-95, and they got in a fight at a Miami strip club, and Bradley alleged that he lost his right eye as a result because Hernandez shot him while the two were riding in the car. For one, the interstate is 95, 95th season of the NFL, 95-59. I talked about it forever. It was on February 13th, which is the 44th day of the year. And then he lost his right eye. I mean, so he has one eye, his left eye, the all-seeing eye, the moon, it's just crazy. And guess who else's trial just started January 5th of this year? It was Johar Zarnev. So, for one, I had talked about it before. The bombings killed 3 people and reportedly injured as many as 264 others. 264 divided by 3 is 88 plus 88 plus 88. Also, it says, look at all these sevens around him. He was born 7 years after his brother. He became a naturalized U.S. citizen on September 11th, 2012, of all days. So he's 7 years younger than his brother, becomes a citizen on September 11th, and then 7 months later, they supposedly bombed the Boston Marathon. He was also born on July 22nd, 1993. July 22nd is 7/22. 7 times 22 is 154. 154 is 77 plus 77. It's also the one day before the dog days of summer and also one day before Neptunalia. And Neptune is like Poseidon, so he's the god of the sea. And that pretty much explains why this all happened in Watertown. So his brother died, and then he wasn't charged until April 22nd, which is 4/22. 4 times 22, 88. And then you scroll down here, and it talks about his education. He went to the University of Massachusetts at Dartmouth. It also says he drives a green Honda. A green Honda. We've talked about how green was associated with everything. A green Honda, and he was getting all F's in school, and so he was making his money by selling marijuana. Green. Even better, here's another 7. He was struggling academically, having received 7 failing grades over 3 semesters. And remember the controversy when he was on the cover of the Rolling Stone? Remember the song, The Cover of the Rolling Stone? Well, it was by the American group Dr. Hook and the Medicine Show. And I'm pretty sure Enter the Stars actually covered this now that I'm thinking about it. But anyway, they wrote that song, and they were actually on the cover of the Rolling Stone with caricatures. And the day they were on the cover of the Rolling Stone was March 29th, 1973. March 29th, 88th day of the year. 1973. 73s have been connected with 88, 73, 37. Just crazy. Also, a long time ago, I talked about Edgar Allan Poe in one of my very first videos. But anyway, he was born on January 19th, or 9/11 backwards, and he died in 1849, and he is from Boston. So another 49 reference about Boston. Even more interesting than what I talked about before was that he's like his first poem, I think it was called Tamerlan and Other Poems. And the other Boston bombing guy was named Tamerlan. And it was published anonymously with the credit granted to a Bostonian. So his poem Tamerlan and Other Poems was credited to a Bostonian. I mean, who knows if that's subliminal, but it's pretty weird. Also, haven't had time to watch this or anything. Probably won't get to it, but I think it's Rita511 in my comments. I believe that's what it is, or something like that. She was telling me about the movie Ladder 49. She thought of the movie Ladder 49. And I checked it out. Just looked through here for a second. And it says that it stars John Travolta. And I clicked on John Travolta. Look at this. Born on February 18th, the 49th day of the year. A running time of 115 minutes, so that is 115 or 55, a budget of $55 million. It also stars Joaquin Phoenix, right? And where's the Super Bowl played? In Glendale, or basically Phoenix. Also, it's in University of Phoenix Stadium. Pretty weird. And it's Ladder 49, 49th Super Bowl. All right, well, that's all I'm going to talk about for now. Who knows? I really, honestly, my guess would be, I guess, after doing all this research, my guess is that the Patriots are going to win tomorrow. And if they don't win, I'm guessing that Tom Brady is going to get hurt. And that's just my guess, that Tom Brady is going to get hurt and they won't win. But I think they're going to win. So who knows? Could be wrong. Like I'm saying, I'm just, maybe they win a different angle. But that's my guess. So anyway, have a great night.